Having problems replacing those favorite dishes that you love so much? I'm going to use one of my favorite breakfast dishes that I love and show you how you can tweak it and still enjoy it, but without busting through your macros or your calorie goals for the day. Coming up. Let's build together. Welcome back, guys, and if it's your first time, make sure you subscribe, like, and click notifications so you can get more updates like the one I'm going to give you today. I'm Jarek, and I'm that guy health, and I want to build with you at all times and all ways. Today, we're going to talk about how to modify some of your favorite dishes to not let them have so much of an impact on your calorie goal. And I'm going to use one of my favorite dishes, which are pancakes and waffles. I absolutely love them. I've always loved them, but the problem is usually they're high in cholesterol because of the amount of eggs you have to use and other ingredients. One of the known brands here, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down some of these stats to one cake so we can see the comparison on a simplified level compared to the ingredients that I'm gonna use to make the modified dish, and hopefully that works out. So usually anywhere given approximately, you can have roughly 95 or more calories in a pancake. Definitely you're gonna have cholesterol because of the eggs you have to use, and the sodium's gonna be a little high. So I wanna bring down some of those areas and try to decrease that. So with the ingredients that I'm gonna use today, and it's only two, I'm using 2 ingredients. Well, actually, that's a fib. I'm gonna use 3 because I'm gonna involve protein within that ingredient to bump up my protein level. You might as well find a way to make it even better if you're gonna modify it. So we're gonna use bananas and eggs to make this modified version of the pancake. So we will be using no flour, no additive from another manufacturer like so. We're just gonna use banana, eggs, and I'm gonna add in some protein, and hopefully we can get these things to turn into something that looks like pancakes. After which we'll go over a different topping that you can use, which is the syrup. We know we love to pound that on. A different syrup option, no carbs, no calories, to help you stay within those goals. So let's get to it. How about it? Okay, so we got our new ingredients. What I got here, basically 2 different, but supposed to be 2 different type of bananas. We got one organic, certified by the USDA, then one that's not. So really, guys, if it really matters to you, I guess you can get the organic. I'm not sure how they are growing bananas to not be organic, but one thing I can tell you is the size is different. So that's probably something that's different between a natural banana growing in its natural place, natural environment, without any other additives, versus a banana that may be grown on a farm using additives is slightly bigger than organic. So that's one difference that I did notice. As far as the nutrients and macros go, I'm pretty sure they're probably close to the same. So just for sake of wanting more, I'm gonna use the regular bananas. I'll probably use these in maybe my smoothie. And the reason I chose that is not because of the organic or not organic. It's just because these have already ripened a little bit more. And you have to know that when bananas ripen a little bit more, especially when they turn brown, there's more sugar contained within that banana. So the goal of this whole dish was to modify so we could bring those stats down. So I want to use the bananas that haven't ripened to the point that they're already turning brown, which means they're going to have less sugar in them. So we're going to go ahead and sit these off to the side for right now. The ingredient right now calls for 2 bananas. So I'm going to rip off 2 of these bad boys and throw this one over here. We got 2 eggs. Remember, I decided to go ahead and add protein into this dish to up my protein intake. So I have 2 scoops of protein. So we got 2 scoops of protein in here, and that's it. That's all of the ingredients that we're gonna need for this pancake. Now, I'm pretty sure, given that we don't have the flour involved, that there's gonna be a flipping issue. And I take pride in flipping my pancakes, even though I'm not the best at it. I just like, if I can get that pancake to flip over, because it was horrible when I was a kid, I'm like ecstatic. I'm like happy about it. I'm pretty sure this is gonna make it a little difficult. So what I'm gonna do is bring down the heat on the burner, make sure I get that pan nice and oiled up, and I use grapeseed oil. I don't use like the canola or the vegetable oil and everything. I like to try to use the grapeseed oil, so we're gonna use grapeseed oil today for that. And I'll go ahead and put links down in the description for everything that I'm using here. I don't know about the bananas, but definitely the cookware, the food processor, and some of the bowls. And so if you guys don't have those, you can go ahead and get them. It makes it a lot easier when you got the right tools for the job. So getting back into this, I got my 2 scoops of protein, I got my 2 bananas, and I have the 2 eggs. So yes, we didn't get rid of the eggs. We definitely need an ingredient in there that's gonna help kind of make the pancakes come together, and eggs is that ingredient to try to make it come together. Just like if you crack the egg, a fried egg, and you left it in the pan, it kind of pretty much comes together if you leave it in place, and then you have to flip it and hopefully it doesn't stick. So that's what the eggs will do. So as far as the cholesterol from the eggs, we will not get rid of that. That will be staying around. But as far as for all the other stats that come in the pre-made pancake batters, we'll end up getting rid of those. We'll definitely decrease those stats. So roughly in this one pancake, we'll go over the stats after we finish making it, and hopefully you guys will see the difference, and maybe you might be able to modify some of your dishes using some of the same techniques. So let's go ahead and get into mixing this stuff up. I'm gonna put this grapeseed oil to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything into the KitchenAid food processor. So let's get that open. And I think it's easy for the food processor if you go ahead and pretty much chop up the bananas just a little bit to not put them in there so bulky. So let's just go ahead and get these bananas open. And I like to go ahead and do that, especially on newer bananas, because usually if you end up trying to crank them open, you squish the top of the banana and that just sucks. So I like to put a little cut in there, makes it easier. See, these bananas are definitely like not all the way ripe. You can tell the way the rind's coming off, and that's what I like. That's what we want. They're like just ripe enough to eat, but not ripe to the point that they started collecting all that sugar inside. Let's get these open. And you have to remember, anytime you're modifying a dish to be more healthy, you might have to sacrifice some taste. I mean, that's just the law of the land. That's just the way it's gonna go. So you can't have something that tastes absolutely great, especially sweet, and not have some type of sugar in there. So you have to be willing to sacrifice the taste, and that's something that I'm always willing to do, especially if the nutrients that I'm gonna get out of that dish or out of that supplement is really gonna push me to the next level. I'm willing to sacrifice taste some. Not to the point where it's just utterly horrible, but definitely some. So let's throw these bananas in the food processor. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead, crack open our eggs. So let's get a little bowl for that, so we can put them in and just scoop them in. That way we can get rid of those, right? So we'll go ahead and pull a little bowl out of here. Get us a bowl, crack these eggs up. Oh, that was awesome. That was a good one. Usually I suck at that. Put them off over here. Crack this one up. It would suck to get eggshells in here because I hate biting down on eggshells. I've had that happen at restaurants. It absolutely is horrible. Grab my napkin, wipe my hands off. And don't forget, we're gonna go over different topping options as far as the syrup is concerned when we get to the end. We're gonna go ahead and we'll make one cake, get that done, give you guys the information on the calories, the fat, the sodium, the cholesterol, the protein, and the carbs, and show you the different topping we're gonna use. So I'm hoping that we can get to that point, because if I don't make it to that point, then that's gonna suck. I'm hoping that we can get at least one successful cake to come off of this burner. So let's go ahead and pour our eggs into the food processor along with the bananas. And what I wanna do is I think I'm gonna wait to add the protein to make sure that the mixing with just the 2 main ingredients is gonna come together before I add something else. And that's something you always wanna do. If you're gonna add something outside of the already mandated ingredients, you might wanna mix those up first to see what kind of texture, what kind of density you have, and then add your extra ingredient, because that could totally compromise it. And you really wanna know that before you waste a bunch of material. So just mix up the regular ingredients first, see how that turns out, and then that could tell you maybe I might not be able to do 2 scoops of protein because it's a granular. So it's definitely gonna kind of break that congealment up. So I might have to take it down to 1 scoop in order to not sacrifice the whole dish. So mix up your regular ingredients first and then add your extra stuff on top of that, all right? We're gonna close that up. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that That's going to be mixing up while we're waiting. And I definitely like using a food processor because I think it mixes up the ingredients a lot better. You get a lot smoother, especially when you want something that's whipped, versus using a blender or using a mixer with the 2 prongs on it. I think this is a better way to do it. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Nice and whipped up. Let's stop it for a minute and check it. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So I think that we're gonna be, let's take this, take a little taste. Actually, it's not too bad. And I think we're gonna be okay with that. So let's go ahead and get that protein mixed in. And don't just clop it in, don't just dump it in one spot. Go ahead and kind of feather it around, have a little delicate touch with it. That's definitely probably gonna help. I know it's all gonna mix together eventually, but it's just something about pulling it all in one spot. And then you could possibly have a ball mix in there if you just all clump it up in one spot versus spreading it around. So we go on that. Let's turn that mixer back on. And it looks like it's doing pretty good, so we'll let it mix up for just a little bit. Get it all nice and blend it up together. And the color changing. And by the way, I chose strawberry for my protein to get basically a banana and strawberry pancake. So I think that might taste pretty good instead of using. Hey, you can use different flavors if you're gonna use protein. Let's stop this for a second. Let's check it. All right, so now this is why we have this spatula. We're gonna go ahead and push some of these ingredients that I've got on the sidewall down. Because like I said, I don't like to waste anything. I like to try to make sure it's all utilized. I take in as much as I can. Protein is not cheap, especially if you're buying one of the major brands or you're buying something that's really gonna be pushing you to the next level. You don't wanna waste it. So reach in there with that, push some of that stuff back down, and let's turn it on again. What we'll do is we'll take this out of the food processor and pour it into this batter bowl. That way we'll have a little bit more control when we're putting it into the pan. All right, I think that's good. Let's take this top off. All right, let's take this out of there. Dump that stuff off in there because I don't want to waste anything. I want to get as much as I can off of this. I'm not playing about not wasting stuff. Like I want everything I paid for. So yeah, this has got to come off. I mean, this tool is not going to do anything with this protein batter. It's just going to be wasted energy, and I don't like wasted energy. So I'm scraping off as much as I can. I know you guys are gonna be like, goodness gracious, he's petty, maybe is that the word, or frugal? Either way it goes. All right, let's take this off. Shake this up. Now you have to remember, if you're using a food processor, you do have a hole in the middle. So it's not a good idea just to go and pour and dump, because then that batter may come over that section and just start draining out the bottom. So make sure you kind of shake it to the bottom, then pour it into your batter bowl. See, we got a banana that's stuck, it didn't mix. Don't bring that into the batter, just leave it out, because it definitely might compromise a pancake. All right, scrape as much of that off. Scrape the edges off, set that bad boy back on there. And now I just kind of want to check and see. Now that looks pretty good. If you can see it from there, I kind of checked the batter to see how it runs off of this spatula. And it does have like a moment where it just kind of stays together and drops off. Now that's a good indication versus if we picked it up and it all just ran off. We might really be in trouble when it comes to flipping. So let's go ahead and get over to the stove, start putting these cakes on and see if we can get a cake to actually develop and flip it and get it to the plate. And if we do that, we are right now successful at modifying one of my favorite dishes, but bringing down those calories, bringing down that cholesterol and the sodium, and upping the protein. Let's get to the stove. Okay, so what I like to do to prepare my pan is, remember, we're trying to decrease these stats, so we're not gonna use a bunch of butter. We're just gonna try to use the grapeseed oil. Stay away from the butter, because that right there will up our cholesterol and sodium. So I like to use grapeseed oil when I oil my pans or making my dishes. So we'll pour a little bit on there. And then what I like to do is we'll just leave that open in case we gotta use it for later. I like to take a paper towel and just lightly go over the pan and just kind of make sure the whole pan is lubricated. I don't know where this pancake is gonna go, how far it might spread. So I wanna get a good amount of this pan lubricated so we can get that pancake up out of there. So now that that's done, what I'll do is I'll set this to the side so I can use it later as I keep making the rest of the pancakes. So like I said, the flipping issue could be a problem given that we don't have the large density that we would have had from the regular batter mix. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the heat on like medium low. I mean, if it cooks a little longer, that's fine because I can watch it and I have time to get it up. And you still wanna follow the same rule of thumb. Once you see the bubbles start slowing down, that means that bottom side has pretty much started turning solid and it's not pushing as much heat through, so the batter's not as affected. So that's probably gonna be our point in time. We're gonna go in and try to scoop that pancake up, flip it, and hopefully we have a successful pancake the first time. All right, let's get into that. All right, so I'm gonna turn my heat on. Make sure I got a good flame. Like I said, medium to low. All right, get that pan on there. And you wanna give a few moments for that pan to get a little heat so that when you put that cake on, it can just instantly start kind of forming up, and that'll give us something. So I'm gonna turn it down just a little scotch. And I can already feel, that's a good thing about gas stoves. Like you can already usually get heat quick instead of the electric burners, those suck. Plus if your electricity goes out, you can't cook. And who does not want to be able to cook and eat? All right, so we got a good amount of heat coming through this pan right now. And I think we can go ahead and try, oh, almost forgot. We need a spatula. Let's grab one out. Now I want to pick one that has a nice fine end on it because I want to be able to get up under that pancake. Now if you have a blunt end on your spatula, what's going to happen is you'll end up pushing the pancake versus getting up under it, and that's going to compromise your flip. So let's go ahead and put that to the side. Yeah, the heat's pretty good. So let's go ahead. We're finna try our first banana pancake, banana strawberry with the protein. And I think what we want to do is want to keep them small. And that should help. We don't want to make an overly big pancake the first time because we don't know how this is going to turn out. So let's keep it small for the first one and then see how it goes and see if we can get a little bigger going forward. And I'm going to turn the heat up just a tad and see what we got. Okay, now bubbles are starting to form, so that's a good sign. I don't want to turn it up too much because I'm pretty sure the pan's going to keep getting hotter and hotter. So I'm going to leave it right there. Now we have bubbles forming, so that's a good sign. And I can already kind of tell the edges are starting to solidify, so that's good as well. All right, I'm a little hesitant to just go in there and try to scoop it and check it, because usually I check my pancakes, I get a little scoop in there and I kind of come up on it. I'm a little hesitant right now. Oh yeah. It's definitely a little different. And I'm adjusting the heat. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm adjusting the heat a little bit, kicking it up just a little notch as I'm watching the pancake. And there we go. We're gonna go ahead and try to flip it. I think it's ready to flip, so we're gonna try to get a flip. So pick your pan up. Oh, successful. That was a successful flip. Boom. Get the batter back in there, round it back up, form it into the pancake. I mean, that pancake looks good. It's small, but it has good color. It's round, it held together during the flip. I'm excited. That means that I'm gonna have pancakes for breakfast. Always take your spatula and clean it off. You know, that compromises the flip too. Like you said, you don't want a blunt end. So that's something you don't want. Put a little pressure on it. All right, now I'm gonna check it. Oh yeah, that's good. That one is going to the plate. Look at that flip. I'm like almost getting professional. So that one's going to the plate. Boom. We have successfully plated our first protein banana pancake without batter. So guys, now that we have successfully made one pancake, I'm gonna make a stack of them and I'll be right back with you in a second. All right, so we finally made it. I have successfully made banana protein pancakes without pre-made batter, and they absolutely look good. I mean, look at that. I mean, I got them stacked. They turned out nice and brown. They have a hint of a kind of pinkish color to them, and that's because of the strawberry protein. And that's something I want to hit on right now. Being that you can successfully make these pancakes without the batter, just using eggs and bananas, the protein you add in can change your taste. So if you like peanut butter, chocolate, peach, whatever kind of flavor protein that's your favorite flavor, you can go ahead and mix it and make it into your pancakes. So I guess the final test is this. Does it actually taste good? Is it something that I can deal with? Is the taste not so bad that I can say, hey, it's worth the stats? And let's go over that real quick. So before, using the pre-made batters and the other ingredients that it takes to make those pancakes, you were sitting at roughly 95 calories, 3 grams of fat, 94 milligrams of cholesterol, 200 milligrams of sodium, 3 grams of protein, and roughly 3 grams of carbs. With this new revised pancake, I'm sitting at 55 calories compared to 95 calories, 1 gram of fat compared to 3, 8 milligrams of cholesterol compared to the 94 milligrams of cholesterol that we had with the pre-made batter, and 40 milligrams of sodium compared to the 200 milligrams of sodium. And get this, 6 grams of protein and roughly 6 to 7 grams of carbs. To me, that's a win-win. So will we get the third win, which is taste? Or will I have to sacrifice on that? Who knows? So let's go ahead and get to it. And we're going to go over these syrup options. This is something else I'll put in the description below for the links so you can check these out. But this is a 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 calories, 0 everything syrup. And it's not so bad. I've used it before on the previous pancakes and waffles I've made. Compared to this stuff, you know, you're going to get a lot of sugar, carbs, other things. So we don't want to use these things. We're trying to get rid of this altogether and go to something more lean, more healthy. So let me go ahead and put my syrup on, and I'm going to taste these pancakes in front of you and see if they taste good. And you're going to be able to tell by my face, because if my face sucks, they suck. Oh, that looks good. I like syrupy pancakes, so don't mind me. Like I said, 0 sugar, 0 carb. I can enjoy as much as I want. Everything in moderation though. So they're cutting pretty good. They're stuck together well. It's actually good. I mean, I like bananas anyway, but with the strawberry protein and the syrup, this is very doable. Like, this is a successful mod to one of my favorite breakfast dishes. And I'm not sacrificing the calories and the carbs and the sugars and the fat. Like, you can decide to have your cheat day be your breakfast, but if it can't and you need something to knock those, keep you within your macros and your calories, this is a wonderful option. So with that being said, I mean, I'm done. I don't know what you're eating for breakfast, but I got banana protein pancakes. So this is Jared, That Guy Health. Don't forget to subscribe, like, click notification, share with your friends all the information and the workouts that are coming. We got a bicep workout coming, and I'm gonna have abs 101 coming your way soon. So with that being said, peace. No, you can't have my pancakes.